So now that we have our statuses available in the drop-down, we need to of course pass them back with the request, and we're already doing that, but right now our controller doesn't handle it. It doesn't know that you're sending it back. So we get the create result with the get, and there we get the right view now, but now we also have to handle, how do we handle the post request, where we actually pass in the person status back to you. And let's just see what it actually sends back now. I'll do a save user, and what it'll send back, if I go into the create here, it'll actually send back the name of the new user and then a new field called status with an ID of the actual status that should be assigned to the user. We're not assigning it, that's why we're getting the unknown of course, but let's look in the code how we actually send back that status name. If I go into the create page here, this name is why it says status equals, and this one is why it says 2, right? So if we look at the view again, status equals 2. Now the name of the actual select, that's what it presents when it comes with the request back, and the ID, that's actually the value in my case. The value is set to ID, so that means it's going to pass back the ID of 2 because I selected the second item in the list. Okay, so it's not because it's the second item, it's because that item has an ID of 2, by the way, just so you don't get that confused. So now we know what it passes back. Let's try and use it. So let's stop the application and go into the controller, and now there are a few ways to do this. Let's do it the Octa way first. I could add just an end called status here, right? Now I will grab that ID that we get here in the status, because I get the name as a form data, and using model binding, that'll be passed into the person class right here, into the person's name, right? You remember that, the model binding. Let's go in there. It has a name, so it'll automatically say, okay, I'll create a person for you and I'll pass in the name for you. Okay, that works. But now I also have to get in the status, and since I have a field inside my list of form data here called status, I can just, using model binding, I can just add the status as an integer and it will automatically fill that in for me. Perfect. Now what I need to do? Well, we need to find the status, and I'll do that by writing var person status, and then I'll grab the status directly from the list of statuses that we made. Dot first or default, you know this. This is just a pure lambda expression. This should be one of those that they're just right there on your spine, very easy to use because you've done it so many times. I'll find the ID that's matching the status that we get from the outside. There we go. And hopefully I'll find something, and then I'll just set that ID on the person that we just created. Person dot, oh sorry, it should say lowercase person dot status equals, and then the person status that I just found, and now I can save the person, right? So this is one way of doing it. I'll show you another way to do it soon, but now we should have the person status actually added before we update the list. Let's see if it actually works. So I'm in the create view again, and I've added a new guy here called John, and he's in jail. I'll save the user, and it pops up with John in jail. So it works, yay! Now we can actually start passing stuff in. So in the next lesson, I'll just show you another way of doing the same thing. See you next time.